Okay, so I'm going to show how to rebuild a front master cylinder on a Yamaha Banshee. Some symptoms that you'll get for needing it to be rebuilt is you may have some spongy brakes, or maybe the brakes don't pressurize fully, and you have a little bit of you have some weakness when you press down when you pull the lever in. So start it off. What you're gonna want to do is take the two bolts off back here. Normally they're 10mm bolts, and then on the front here there's a banjo bolt that's 12mm, and then you also need something to hold this old fluid in, so you don't get it all over your floor and all over the paint and all over the frame, because brake fluid can actually tear paint off. And then once you have both of these off, I would actually start with the banjo bolt and then take the master cylinder off. You want to have something to empty the fluid out into, and then take these two bolts off up here, or the two screws up here, as Phillips said, and drain all the fluid out of it. I'm going to do that real quick and show you what to do next. Okay, I forgot to mention that when you pull the banjo bolt off, there will be two copper washers on it. You just want to watch out for those. You're going to be replacing them in your rebuild kit. So, and also when you pop the lid off of the reservoir, there will be this little nut gasket here that may be stuck to the top of it, but you'll have to peel it off so you can gain access to the fluid. But you can see it separates from this. And then also right here I have the master cylinder. I just have it inside the coffee bucket. And all the fluid's down there. It's all drained, so I'm going to take it out real quick. I'm going to put it on the bench and I'm going to show you how to take it apart. Okay, so I took it out of the bucket with all the fluid that I dumped. First thing you're going to do is to flip it on upside down. There's a 10mm nut right here. You'll want to remove that, and then also at the top you'll have to unscrew the bolt up here and thread it into the lever. And then you should get up to the point where you can just pull the rest of it out. The lever will spring out. There's a spring back there, so look out for the spring. They don't come with springs. You have to order a new one, so try to keep an eye on it and don't try to lose it. So I'm going to take that off real quick and then show you what to do next. Okay, so I got the lever removed. Here's the spring that sits in there. Next, you'll point it up towards here, the lever came out of, and then you'll actually see this boot on there, but I took it off already. It's going to be a boot, and then the head of the piston right there. You just want to get some type of pick into the back of the seal, so you can, or the dust boot, so that way you can pull it up and pull it off of the piston here. If you have the boot removed, you'll see there's a retainer in there. You want to get a retainer pliers that pinch inwards to extract the retainer and pull it out, and the piston and everything will slide out. I'm going to do that real quick and then show you what to do next. Okay, so this is all what's going to come out of the master cylinder. First you have the retainer clip that you pinched inwards, take out. Then the piston will pop out, along with the tube seals here and a long spring. So if any of these parts aren't there, check down into the bore, make sure that none of the parts got left over, but this is what you're going to have. Most rebuild kits, what you're going to receive is everything except for the piston. If you have, I believe, if you just buy the Yamaha OEM kit, that you should receive the piston as well as the seals and the spring, but I didn't. I went with the All Balls Racing kit, and It seems to be working fine. This has already been rebuilt. I'm just showing for purposes to show you. So what you're gonna do is take this seal off with the spring. The spring just unwinds. Put the new one together like that. You'll see down in there there's like a tip to it. That's how you know it's on the side. That's supposed to be on the side with the spring. You just put the spring on, you can twist it on, and it should stay there. And then for this one, what you want to do is you want to get a pick from and pick it from right in this crack down here. You want to pick it and drag it over this lip right here, and just drag it off. Put the new one on the same way. Be careful not to put any tears into the seal. And also, I forgot to mention this earlier, but you do not want to put these components around, these rubber components around the any oil, or else it'll puff up and the seal will be ruined. So, that's pretty much it. Make sure that in between these grooves it's all clean. Mine was all dirty when I first got it, and also the inside was filled with rust. You want to check down into the board, make sure there's no rust down there, and also into the reservoir. Make sure that those two holes down there you can see clearly out of. And do some cleaning if you have to. And then after that, it's just reassembly, which is pretty much the exact opposite of what we did to take it apart. So, just want to take your master cylinder, put the spring without the seal end first in. Just want to push it down. Take the piston. Make sure it's on the end with the spirals. Push it in, and then just put your retainer clip in. You want to press down. Make sure it's all unevenly. Press in on the piston a couple times. Make sure it's all seated. And I'm just going to do that real quick and show you what's next. Okay, so like I said before, make sure that your ring down there is all level. You press down on the piston a couple times. Make sure it's seated correctly. It should be very smooth. Pushing in the piston, it shouldn't have any drag to it. It should just be really smooth. So, it's all good. Next, all you have to do is just assemble the lever and put the dust boot on. Put the dust boot on. Make sure that that is over the lip there. On the piston, you'll see it. And then also, inside here, you'll see a silver shape embedded into the case. That's for the spring. You'll just put the spring in there, and then on the lever there's this little slot right there that the spring sits into, so make sure that those spring lines up okay, and then line the holes up with the case of the master cylinder, and stick the bolt through, thread the bolt on, and then put your nut on, and it's all assembled. You just gotta put it back on your bike. I'm gonna go do that real quick and show you how to bleed your brakes, and that's about it on how to rebuild it. Okay, so now I put my master cylinder on, put the two bolts back here, put the banjo bolt on. Remember, you have new copper washers. One is supposed to go in between the head of the bolt and the fitting for the line. The other one's supposed to go between the fitting for the line and the reservoir for the master cylinder. You want to put those on and tighten the bolt down, and then you just fill the reservoir with .4 brake fluid and close the cap, put both screws in. Next thing you're going to want to do is bleed the brakes, and that's about the last part for this. What you're going to do is down here you'll have this little cap right here. You'll pull it off, and right here is your bleeder screw right there. You're going to put a tube on the end of that so you don't spill it all over the place. You want to take it to a canister with all the other old brake fluid. And all you gotta do is have someone up there at the bar, or you can reach around and grab it. Get an 8mm wrench. You're gonna have someone squeeze the handle up there. Squeeze it for about 5 or 6 squeezes, and then you're gonna have someone hold it like this. You'll pump it 5 or 6 times, and then hold the handle. Well, you or someone else is holding the handle. You're gonna come down here, take the 8mm wrench, and break this loose, and this fluid and air will come out of here. You want to keep doing it until the handle starts to stiffen up, and you have no more air bubbles coming through that hose. After that, the brakes are bleeded. You have to do it on both sides here for the fronts. Close the caps, and you're ready to ride. Thanks for watching. I'm going to do a video on the rear. It's very similar to the front. It's just that it's shaped differently. It's got some other things to deal with, but that's about it. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm also going to show how to put new brake pads on. And that's about it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.